are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Podcast. I'm Dylan. I'm watching on Twitter. Here are the latest in Auburn athletics news as we look to continue our way too early season preview series. Supposed to be a Tuesday thing, but did not have an episode go up on Tuesday. I was out of town. So, going to continue that and then, of course, end up the show talking about some Auburn basketball because SEC conference schedule has been released. Not the days, but the teams have been announced. But to start off with, we're going to talk about the week 3 of the Way Too Early Season Preview Series, where your Auburn Tigers will be going to their second home game of the year, welcoming in South Alabama. Now, this is an interesting game because it is an in-state, non-FCS opponent. And South Alabama, of course, a very solid Sun Belt team. I think they're projected right now by Athlon to finish third in their division. But they're a very interesting team with Major Applewhite as their head coach. The offense is going to be, for the most part, an issue. The biggest part about South Alabama that I've noticed while doing my research on them is it really just depends on the quarterback situation. Right now, they got two quarterbacks battling it out between Zach Pyron, a transfer, and Bishop Davenport are currently the two battling it out. And from all I've seen thus far, it looks like Bishop Davenport will be the starter unless Zach Pyron beats him out for it. Davenport, of course, played a little bit last year, had 604 passing yards and 161 rushing yards. But again, that was in very limited time. It should be Gio Lopez as the starter for South Alabama, but he is transferred to North Carolina. So very interested to see how that plays out. From what it seems like, South Alabama is going to be very heavy in the run game behind returning back Kentrell Bullock. Bullock last year was the second string back behind Fluff Bothwell, who transferred from Mississippi State. But Bullock last year, 832 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. So definitely going to be a focal point of this offense. Also on this offense, you were looking at a seventh-year player in Devin Volson as the main target for the wide receiver room. But yeah, pretty much that's the offense. I mean, it's going to be a run-heavy attack unless the quarterbacks look the part. But for the most part, I do believe it will be a run-heavy focus there. Auburn's D-line should be front and center for this game. As we've predicted already, Auburn's 2-0 going into this week. I don't expect that to change going forward. But, I mean, defensively, South Alabama is very athletic. That they do return a good chunk, or only 3 players, but they have a lot of players that are veterans. They don't have any freshmen that are basically in rotations. A lot of seniors and juniors leading the charge here for South Alabama. But it'd be very interesting. Last year, 16 interceptions from the secondary, which again, the secondary is only returning 1 player back who had 3 interceptions last year. They lost a lot of talent to the portal, but that'll be a way Auburn can attack this defense is by going at a non-veteran laden secondary. I said veteran laden as in they have veterans because they're not all freshmen. It's a lot of juniors and seniors in this defense. But Auburn should be able to take advantage of that. A balanced attack will get it done. But again, attacking the wide receivers a lot will be the key here for Auburn to overcome South Alabama's defense. But yeah, pretty much, I mean, the offense is going to be the best part of South Alabama. I don't really see this to be a major upset alert for Auburn. I mean, it very well could be. We've seen Auburn in recent years with teams like New Mexico State, and I guess you could say I don't think there's a game last year that you could put in this list, but it's happened before. But again, I think with Auburn being 2-0, should be 3-0 going into this. I think you start off undefeated going into SEC play next or the following week with Oklahoma, which I think is one of the biggest games on the schedule for Auburn, SEC wise, because if you're 3-0, if Oklahoma's 3-0, could be a ranked matchup. Don't believe it will be. And it definitely will be telling for both coaches whether or not you're going to keep your job or not. But again, I think Auburn beats out Alabama, but maybe a trap game. I'm not too sure about that. I think that for the most part, if Auburn just plays Auburn's game, they'll be fine. And again, it's a win that should be a win no matter what. Anytime Auburn plays a non-P4 opponent, it should be a win. Knock on wood. But yeah, South Alabama they're good. They're a good team. They'll perform very well in the Sun Belt. They're just not gonna beat Auburn. Which means they start off the year versus Morgan State, and then they'll be coming off a game versus Tulane, which would be an interesting game regarding the Sun Belt, or I guess Tulane's in the American Conference. But regardless, they could be 1-1 heading into the game versus Auburn. Auburn should be 2-0 going into that game. So very interesting game there. Definitely the best non-con game on the schedule or second best non-con game. I guess Baylor would be the first, but could be a test for Auburn, and a chance to get a good game at home. I think it'll be an early kick, 11:30. I do believe it's a kickoff for this game. I do expect Auburn to win this, as should pretty much everybody. But with that, that's going to do it for the Way Too Early season preview series for week 3. Again, up next is Oklahoma. That'll be on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. We're going to quick little break. Outside of the break, we're going to talk about some Auburn basketball as SEC conference schedules have been named. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
And of course, available on thewarreport.com. Go to the shop, and on the second page, you'll find the college loop merch. But of course, it's on the Way for the channel. Best works for the channel, of course, by liking the video, by commenting, letting me know what you think of Auburn's conference schedule coming up for men's and women's basketball, and of course, subscribing to the channel, getting us to 1,000 subscribers. Be super cool to reach that milestone for a football season. So let's get it. All right, now Auburn men's basketball. We'll start off with them announcing, or SEC announcing, the conference slates. So starting off with the home games, again, Alabama, that's a home and home, another home and home versus Arkansas. And then, let me just do home games and then I'll do away games. That'd be easier for my brain. So Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt will be your home games. Your away games, Bama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. So home and home versus Bama, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. I believe you play every single. No, there's some teams I'm missing here in the SEC, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, okay. I'm not stupid. So, yeah, I play every team in the SEC. So, again, interesting games to watch here. Of course, the Bama game is always going to be number one on most lists, with Auburn and Alabama pretty much being two of the most dominant teams in the SEC over the past few years. That Kentucky game at home, of course, Auburn ran to Kentucky out of Rupp Arena last year so bad that ESPN lost signal. Texas at home will be very interesting as well. Teams that'll be interesting to watch going forward. South Carolina did not have a great year last year, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Same with Oklahoma. That game being in Norman. I do like the idea of Ole Miss and Arkansas being all home and home. Of course, Arkansas has been kind of a official rival of Auburn basketball over the past few years, especially now with Calipari as the coach. Florida away sounds gross. That sounds very gross. Auburn never been too good at playing Florida, and also never been too good at playing Florida in the swamp and basketball. So yeah, they're very interesting games to watch out for here. And again, I mean, it's the SEC. The SEC is the SEC. One of the best conferences in every single sport. We're very good in basketball last year, outside of a couple of teams. I want to say 14 teams made March Madness last year, so a lot of teams to worry about, and literally all but like a couple of them. But again, I think A&M is a game that's going to be very fun to watch because Buzz is no longer there, leaving for Maryland. So interesting how they kind of perform going forward. I know the SEC ACC Challenge will also be an interesting one, especially with Auburn playing NC State. Should have been Duke, but that's just not how they do things, I guess. But Auburn, again, I think a home and home versus Arkansas would give a good opportunity to kind of try to win some series. Auburn split series all over the place last year. Which I do hate not having Tennessee in that. I wish there was a way to pull off a Tennessee home and home or Kentucky home and home. But that's besides the point. That's kind of the struggles you get by having a larger conference. But it'll be fun to see how the schedule kind of puts itself together whenever dates and times get announced. Of course, Auburn going to have a very tough non-con again. Again, with teams like Houston, NC State, as mentioned before, and a lot of other teams in that as well. Women's basketball, thrown it over there. First-year Coach Vickers. They don't have a home and home versus Alabama this year. So if I go by home and homes first, let me just try to get that out of the way. It looks like only one home and home, and that is Florida. And then, so home schedule, again, Florida, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, Alabama, and Kentucky. Away games, you got Florida, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Missouri, A&M, and Texas. Again, as I said, SEC, very tough conference in every single sport. Women's basketball, no stranger to that either. Florida being a home, again, I'm always worried about Auburn playing Florida in almost every sport, it seems like. But regardless, I think it's a good home and home for them to have. I do like South Carolina at home. I think it gives a good opportunity for the stands to be filled up to support Coach Vickers in his first year as the head basketball coach for Auburn. Oklahoma, Tennessee being at home, another good game. Again, Alabama being at home, Georgia being at home, LSU, just good games for Auburn to load up Neville Arena for. I like those a lot. Away games, I mean, Mississippi State's going to always be an interesting game. Mississippi State, very good on the basketball front. And again, like Texas, and I believe Vanderbilt was decent last year as well. Ole Miss, another good one. Very tough slate ahead for them in their first year. Hopefully did enough recruiting wise to build up a roster that can compete early. But again, I mean, you get a mulligan in your first year whenever it comes to coaching at this level of the sport. But Coach Vickers, I mean, his resume speaks for itself. He is a guy who can rebuild it just like in a year or two max. Very good at doing that. So going forward, I mean, plenty of opportunities for Neville Arena to be loaded up for women's basketball. So hopefully that does happen. And you know, whenever, I mean, one of my favorite moments in my Auburn fandom history was being a student and going to an Auburn women's basketball game and watching them take down number 4 Tennessee and storming the court for that. That was legendary. So opportunities to do that. You got some opportunities ahead. I mean, I don't think you're going to be South Carolina, but I mean, Who says they can't? Outside of what I just said. So that's upcoming schedules. Let me know what you think of the schedule of which game are you most excited for Auburn basketball going forward. Do you think Auburn is going to go undefeated? And it is. Let me rephrase the question. Do you think Auburn is going to win out their series going into the season? Of course, very good roster for men's basketball. Attack the transfer portal very heavily, and of course, got a lot of great talent out of the JUCO realm and of course high school. So very interesting how the season goes for Auburn men's basketball. Should be another great year, especially when you got Todd Pettiford back. But again, with series like Alabama, Ole Miss should hopefully be a sweep. Arkansas could be a sweep. Very interesting to see how the season goes. It could be a fun one, but of course, before that is football season. So stay tuned for that. We'll continue the Way Too Early Season Preview Series on Tuesday. Look for episodes to do on Sunday as well. I'll be in West Virginia next time you see me. And, of course, go ahead and get us out of here. I'm Dylan. Everyone take on Twitter. Of course, you got me on Instagram as well at Dylan, DYLRCK. You got me on TikTok as well at your boy The Tank, where you can catch me doing football content over there as well for the SEC. Trying to get more active on there. Haven't posted in a while, but I got 2 decent TikToks up about it. And, of course, check us out right here in the College League Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what is your favorite game that you are getting excited for Auburn basketball as the season gets closer. October, I do believe, is when Auburn basketball starts. And, I mean, having Florida away is going to be a fun one. I don't think anyone. I'm not going to that one, but if you do, more power to you. But of course, Auburn, Kentucky, always going to be a fun game in Neville Arena. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Of course, check us out on audio versions of the show as well: Spotify, Podcast, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And with all being said, thanks for tuning in to some of the College League Podcast. And as always, War Eagle.